I don't know if we like properly covered it. We just sort of like covered it as part of like a general rant. You've brought up dbus as being a problem a number of times.
Mhm.
It sounds like you have pretty much anything that touches dbus. You just like,
I don't want to touch that. Yeah, I don't want to use it. I generally don't understand dbus. I spent like multiple days trying to wrap my head around it, and I don't really understand how it works at all in any capacity. I don't. It seems like a very overcomplicated a very overcomplicated solution to what I thought is a very simple problem, which is
hmm,
like making Firefox put a notification on the screen or like
hmm,
stuff like that. Like I don't think you need an entire service to do that. I don't see why Firefox can't just fork and execute some executable that adds a layer shell client with a message in it. It should be that easy, right? I don't
hmm.
know. Am I crazy? I feel like I'm crazy, but it seems so much simpler. I mean, why has no one done this, right? So dbus, I don't understand why it exists. I feel like FreeDesktop do a lot of things where the lower levels libraries that they make are actually mostly good. Like obviously they have a big part in Wayland.
Hmm.
FreeDesktop, it's hosted on Wayland. I mean, Wayland is hosted on FreeDesktop, and it's a great protocol, as I've said many times. Or like stuff like evdev, or like all of that, the lower level stuff they do is really good. But then when you get to the sort of like desktop level user space programs, I think they really like overcomplicating everything. Like dbus is really overcomplicated. All of the stuff like the past like with desktop environments, the standards they have for that are like I just don't understand why it's like this. I don't understand why it's like this. I feel like it could be so much simpler.
Hmm.
I have a kind of mindset that everything should be as simple as possible because I don't see why we need so much abstraction and complication in
Hmm.
computing. And people think that having things be simple means that like everything has to be like hard to use from a
Right,
user
right,
perspective.
right.
But I don't think I don't think that's true at all. You can have an intuitive like system that a beginner can pick up and use while also having it be internally simple. But if you have a externally simple program with an internally that is internally complicated, the universe will present you with a user who knows how to use the program but has no idea how it works, which is not what you really want. What you really want is something that is externally simple and internally simple, so the user can easily use the program and also easily understand how it works, because that is how you're supposed to use a computer. I think personally.
I think we have a lot of that on Linux where you have people who are like confident with an application, have no idea how it works, and then have a lot of opinions on the correct way that things should be done.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have that opinion if you don't understand what is happening internally, because your idea or suggestion or opinion might just be impossible.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we need to make software that is comprehensible, unlike dbus, which is incomprehensible. Even someone like me spends a lot of time working with computers and looking at code.
Mm-hmm.
Another problem with dbus, which has been mentioned many times by a variety of people, some who I agree with, some who I disagree with, is that dbus is just completely undocumented. Like they just lie in the specification. They do just blatantly lie in the specification. There are some things that they say are implemented, and you try and do it, and then no application will accept it. Like it just doesn't exist. That like shouldn't happen. Like there's just pure incompetency. There's no there's no excuse for that. There just isn't.
That is actually a somewhat common thing in FreeDesktop, and some of it is honestly just because it's been handed around a bunch of times, and there's a bunch of old pages that are completely outdated, but they're still being linked to from pages that you assume are the correct up-to-date page. So there might be good, correct documentation somewhere. It's just there's a
But you're just
bunch
not
of
gonna
these.
find it.
Yeah, there's a bunch of these like weird, incorrect links just scattered around the place.
Now, I'm not gonna. I feel like I shouldn't hate too much because it is like it's free. Like these people aren't
Sure,
getting
sure.
paid to work on stuff. Like at the end of the day, we are all just hobbyists to an extent. Some more serious than others. Uh, I do feel like there could be a little bit more clarity, especially with the dbus stuff, about making sure that the stuff that you write on the website also works when you implement it. I feel like it's a little bit bare minimum. I don't know,
Yeah, what I end up hearing for
but
anyone who writes a like new implementation is they just go like for a lot of for a lot of this stuff, they just look at what like KDE's done and just like the
that's
documentation
the only
is
way to
the
do it.
implementation that KDE has.
Yeah. The code is the best documentation. I mean, what like there's no other because obviously what KDE has actually handles it properly because
Mhm.
KDE is used in production on your laptop. So yeah, that's the only way of making a dbus implementation. Also, the original dbus implementation was like crazy slow, and now there are like 5 more. Like dbus broker, I think, is the one that's used on most mainstream distributions, and there's like one in Rust, probably called like dbus RX, if I had to guess. But yeah, there are a bunch of implementations. I feel like if they just made one competent implementation, it would be easier. I mean, I'm all for multiple implementations. It's something that there should be multiple implementations of everything. It's something that I do often. I just re-implement something that in a way that I think is better. But make sure that when you do that, that it's in harmony with the original implementation, or you end up with a situation where nothing works as intended, which is like annoying for everyone involved.